everyone, you're watching Explore to Shine with Anu.
Before proceeding to the video, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done, and also hit the notification bell so you will be notified when we upload a new video. With no further delay, let's quickly dive into this video.
This is the sixth session of Tally ERP 9, and in this we are going to see about Voucher entries. The content of this video will be, we are going to see how to enter in Contra Voucher, Payment Voucher and Receipt Voucher. So here we have some transactions. The first one, deposited into Canara Bank rupees 50,000, withdrew cash from Canara Bank rupees 12,000, transferred rupees 10,000 from Canara Bank to SBI Bank, paid rent to landlord rupees 15,000 by check, paid salary rupees 20,000, withdrew cash rupees 12,000 for personal use, purchased building from Sumi Constructors for cash rupees 15 lakhs, received interest from Suresh rupees 5,000, received commission from Umesh rupees 16,000 by check, Vinay commenced business with cash rupees 7 lakhs and sold furniture to Ram rupees 8,000 for cash. So these are the transactions which I have already explained in my last video. Let's see how to make these entries in Tally ERP 9. So we have already created a company by name Shalvin Private Limited. The first step, you're just going to create a company. We have already put a video on how to create company. If you have not watched, please watch it and then go for the next step. Next, we are going to set the features of the company by just pressing F11. Accounting features, enter Shalvin Private Limited. For which company you want to set the feature, it is for Shalvin Private Limited, and make all the options as no. I'll tell you why these features are being required in another video. Accept this. So now press escape key to come back to the gateway of Tally screen. Now let's do the entries. So before moving on to Voucher entries, first we need to create the ledgers for the Voucher entry. Just press accounts info, ledger, create. So your first transaction, deposited into Canara Bank rupees 50,000. So what are the two types of ledger account you require? One is Canara Bank, the other one is cash account. So to create the ledgers, so Canara Bank, it comes under the group called bank account, bank under bank account, and just accept this. So we are just creating only the ledgers. And the next one is cash. No need to create cash ledger because it is a default one. And your next transaction, withdraw cash from Canara Bank rupees 12,000. And again the ledger accounts are Canara Bank and cash. So we have already created a ledger by name Canara Bank. No need to create again. Transferred rupees 10,000 from Canara Bank to SBI Bank. Here the two accounts are Canara Bank and SBI Bank. I need to create a ledger for SBI Bank because we already have Canara Bank here. I just create SBI. Okay. So next transaction, paid rent to landlord rupees 15,000 by check. So what are the two types of account? Rent and bank. Rent, it comes under the group called indirect expense. We are paying the rent, so it is indirect expense. The other one is bank account. We have already created. Paid salary rupees 20,000. Here I have to create it as salary under indirect expense. Withdrew cash rupees 12,000 for personal use. What is the money withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use called as? It is drawings. Yes, we have to create a ledger by name drawings here. So drawings, it comes under capital account. Purchase building from Sumi Constructors for cash rupees 15 lakhs. Here, creating the ledger called building under fixed asset. So now we have created the ledger for the first 7 transactions. So let us see how to enter these into Voucher entries. The rest transaction I'll tell you directly in Voucher entry. So now after creating the ledgers, come back by pressing escape key until you get the gateway of tally screen. Now come to accounting vouchers using arrow keys, press enter. So once again we'll just enter this transaction first. That is your 10th transaction. Vinay commence business with cash rupees 70 lakhs. So let's do this entry first. So after money invested by the proprietor, let's start the other entries. So first let us start with Vinay commence business with cash rupees 70 lakhs. What are the 2 types of ledgers? Here one is capital, the other one is cash. So here I have not created the ledger. Let me create from here. Vinay commence business with cash means capital. Money is being invested by the proprietor. So one is capital, the other one is cash. So capital, there is inflow of money. So it has to be entered in receipt voucher. And the shortcut key for receipt voucher is F6. Capital, it is on the credit side because owner is the giver. So here I have not created the ledger called capital. So if I just press C for capital, I am not getting it. I am getting as spelling error. Why? Because I have not created the ledger. If you have already created a ledger, that ledger will be listed on the right side. So I have not created here. There is another way to create ledger. So I'll just use Alt C for ledger creation screen. I wanted capital under capital account. So what was the amount? 70 lakhs. Debit side we have cash. Accept this. Now coming for the first entry, deposited into Canara Bank rupees 50,000. So one is Canara Bank, the other one is cash, and we are going to enter this in Contra Voucher. Depositing into bank, withdraw from bank and transferred from one bank to another bank. Which voucher we are using? It is Contra Voucher, and the shortcut key for Contra Voucher is F4. So when you are depositing into bank, bank will be on the debit side. So now in Contra Voucher, first you have the credit entry. Cash comes on the credit side. So what is the amount? It is 50,000. Debit Canara Bank. And just accept this. You can also use Ctrl A to accept all the entries. Enter and accept this. The next one, withdraw cash from Canara Bank. We have to use the same voucher, Contra Voucher, but in this case, Canara Bank will be on the credit side because bank is the giver. So credit side, Canara Bank. So what is the amount? It is 12,000. Debit side is cash, and just accept this. The next one, transferred rupees 10,000 from Canara Bank to SBI Bank. The two accounts are Canara Bank and SBI Bank. So who's the giver and who's the receiver? SBI is the receiver and Canara Bank is the giver. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. So here giver is Canara Bank. So I'm just selecting Canara Bank. The amount is 10,000. And debit side we have SBI Bank. They are the receiver, so you're putting on the debit side. So these are the only 3 entries that you can do in Contra Voucher. Depositing into bank, withdraw from bank, and bank to bank. Transferring of amount from one bank to another bank. So let's move on to the next transaction. Paid rent to landlord rupees 15,000 by check. So here, what are the 2 types of ledger account? One is rent, the other one is bank. We are paying it, so it is in payment voucher. So debit side, so as I said, in payment and receipt, one side will always be cash or bank. So one side it is fixed, that is in payment voucher, always credit side will be cash or bank. The other side we have rent, debit side rent. What is the amount? It is 15,000. Credit side, it is by check, so you're going to take bank account. So I said one thing you have to remember, that in payment voucher, always the credit side will be cash or bank. When you're making payment, how you're making payment is the other account. What you're paying and how you're paying. Whether you're paying by check or cash. So the next transaction, paid salary rupees 20,000. Here, salary on the debit side and the amount will be 20,000. Credit side is cash. The next transaction, withdrew cash rupees 12,000 for personal use. So we have already created a ledger by name drawings, and we are going to enter drawings also in payment voucher because cash goes outside. So debit side we have drawings. What is the amount? 12,000. Credit side is cash. And just accept this. So next voucher, we have purchase building from Sumi Constructors for cash. So we have already created ledger for this. One is building, the other one is cash. So debit side, building. The amount will be 15 lakhs. Credit side is cash. If you're buying any asset for cash, that will be entered in payment voucher. So we have entered 3 types of transaction in payment voucher. That is paid for any expenses. One is cash, the other one is bank, the other one drawings. Has to be entered in payment voucher. And if you are buying any asset for cash, then also it is being entered in payment voucher. I think we have completed all the 3 type of entries that can be done into payment voucher. So next transaction, received interest from Suresh rupees 5,000. So what are the 2 types of ledger account here? One is received interest, the other one is cash. Whenever you're receiving, how you're receiving, that is very important. So one account is received interest, the other account is cash here. So here I've not created the ledger and it is in receipt voucher, isn't it? We are in payment voucher. To go to receipt voucher, you're just pressing F6. So one account is received interest. We have not created the ledger. From here, I'm using Alt C. One is received interest. Under, we are receiving the interest, so it is an income. So it comes under indirect incomes. So what is the amount here? It is 5,000. And the other side here, always on the debit side, it will be cash or bank. So cash account, and just accept this. Your second entry, received commission from Umesh rupees 16,000 by check. The 2 types of ledgers are received commission and bank account. So I have not created received commission. Let me create from here using Alt C. So received commission. Under indirect income, and just accept this. So what is the amount? It is 16,000. So it is by check. So I am taking Canara Bank. The next one. So this we have already entered. Vinay commence business with cash rupees 70 lakhs. This is the first entry we have done. And the last one is sold furniture to Ram rupees 8,000 for cash. Here the two types of ledger are furniture and cash. So we are going to create a ledger by name furniture using Alt C. Furniture is under fixed asset group and just accept this. Amount is 8,000 and so the other entry will be cash account. So I think in receipt also the three types of entry is being made. One is whenever you are receiving money, whenever there is inflow of money to the business, it has to be entered in receipt voucher. So received interest and received commission will be entered in receipt voucher. And Vinay commence business with cash. So this also is nothing but capital. Capital means money invested by the proprietor. So cash flow is there. So inflow of money is there for the business. So that's why you're going to enter in receipt voucher. So lastly, sold furniture to Ram. Sold furniture to Ram rupees 8,000 for cash. You're selling an asset for cash. So when you're selling furniture, cash comes inside. That's why you put under receipt voucher. I think now you're clear with the three types of entries. First one is Contra voucher, payment voucher and receipt voucher. So I just want to come back. I just use escape to come back. So if I want to see the entries, just come down to display and daybook. Enter. So I want to see this in double entry mode. Press Alt F1. You can get the double entries here. Hope you have understood. The first entry is depositing into bank because bank is on the debit side. This entry is withdraw from bank and this is from Canara Bank to SBI Bank. We are transferring and you're paying rent by check, which is in payment voucher. Paid salary, which is in payment voucher. Drawings comes under payment voucher. Building, buying asset for cash comes under payment voucher. Capital, it comes under receipt voucher. Received interest, it is receipt voucher. Received commission by check, receipt voucher. And sold furniture for cash, it comes under receipt. I think now you're clear.
That's all for today's session. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and make sure you share it with your friends. See you in my next video. Until then, take care and keep smiling.